Morning, everybody. Welcome to the Board of Trustees regular meeting. Today's date is February 22nd, 2022. It is 9 a.m. and we are meeting here in the boardroom. Roll call, please.
Trustee Mallow.
Here.
Trustee Desmond.
Here.
Trustee Sack.
Here.
Trustee Pembroke.
Here.
And can I have a motion to allow Trustee Stalker and Trustee Oliniechek to participate by phone?
Second.
A second.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Sack.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Yes.
Okay. Madam Clerk, the president is here too.
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Thank you. Bud, can you hear us?
Yes, I can, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Please rise and we'll pledge allegiance. Veterans may salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I understand we have some public comments today.
Have Jocelyn from Republic Services.
Hi, Jocelyn. Would you like to step up to the microphone?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can everyone hear me? Okay. My name is Jocelyn Cruz, and I am the General Manager with Republic Services, the division that provides services to the residents of Oak Lawn. I appreciate the opportunity to address both the Village Board and the residents today. I'm here to talk about the snowstorm of February 2nd. We were forced to shut down operations on February 2nd and February 3rd due to severe winter weather conditions, road closures, power outages, and other winter issues. The safety of our employees, our customers, and the general public will always be our number one priority. Our trucks can weigh in excess of 60,000 pounds when full, and we cannot in good conscience operate them when we deem it unsafe. Republic Services of Crestwood is proud to be the service provider for the residents of Oak Lawn. In fact, in response to the forecasted winter storm, we worked ahead and provided the Wednesday service for the alleys on Tuesday and had additional crews the following week to make sure that we were able to remove all of the waste, recycling, and bulk items generated by the residents. We apologize that communication to the community and to the village employees created confusion. Additionally, our customer call center provided some inaccurate information to customers, providing additional confusion. We take our partnership very seriously. We regret that this occurred, and we will be working diligently with our customer service center to respond better in emergency situations moving forward. We thank you in advance for your understanding of this unique circumstance and of our commitment to keep the employees and the communities safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, conflict of interest disclosure. Does any trustee have any conflict with any items on today's agenda? Hearing none, we'll move on to approval of regular meeting minutes of 2022-3 dated February 8th, 2022. A motion?
Motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Any changes or corrections? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek.
Alex?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Sack.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. New business by trustees, District 1?
Thank you, Mayor. I have no new business.
Thank you. District 2? Alex?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor. I have no new business.
Thank you. District 3?
Thank you, Mayor. I have a few items this morning. I'd just like to talk first about the farmer's market. the AEC made a decision to discontinue the farmer's market for 2022. Discussions with farmers noted that farmers markets in the area are on the decline. Dwindling availability of farmers has caused this. So at this point in time for 2022, Oak Lawn will not be hosting a farmer's market in the morning that they have done for years. So that's really all I have on that. The summer concerts, the Movies on the Green. We met with the Park District. The Park District has put forward a calendar. The village has put forward a calendar. So as soon as we have those calendars together regarding the movies and the summer concerts for starting in June, running through the fall, we will put that forward hopefully by the next meeting. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee Mello. I hope we can bring back that farmer's market. It was well appreciated by the community, but I understand the economics of it. District 4?
Thank you, Mayor. No new business.
District 5?
Thank you. No new business. Thank you.
Okay, and District 6?
No new business, Mayor.
Thank you, that was easy. Okay. Village Manager's Report.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have one item I wanted to bring to the board and the public's attention. I'm not sure exactly when, but recently, probably within the last 3 or 4 days, our Oak Lawn Commons Shopping Center at 95th and Pulaski, the shopping center that has the Amazon, the Dooley, the Shake Shack, and others, is going to market. And I think I spoke at the last meeting about the value, the expected value of that sale could be one of the largest in the Midwest, and that's been confirmed. The asking price now is $80 million for that development. So that's something that this board, I know prior to my being back involved as trustee in 2000, whatever it was, 19, worked with the developer with an incentive and worked closely with them throughout the process to bring quality tenants to that site. And we also were able to negotiate a $340,000 payment, sort of truly partnering with that development for 20 years, largely because of the medical use of DuPage Medical Group. Sort of an innovative thing. I don't know that anybody else does it, but anybody who knows Oak Lawn knows that if we're left to their own devices, our entire 95th corridor would be medical use. There are so many doctors groups. Obviously, Christ Hospital is a large anchor. Now we have a little company and DuPage Medical. So that $340,000 payment we felt was fair, and so did the developer. And the transfer tax alone on an $80 million development, a sale, I don't know, Adam, do you know roughly what that might equate to? $400,000. A $400,000 payment that we'll likely see. But the bigger news is the success, I think, that we can all take pride in, including our residents who provide the money we need to operate. A true partnership, a great economic development success story for a property that had a failing Kmart, a problematic Chuck E. Cheese, and some other businesses. The situation was very bleak 6-7 years ago, and now it's one of the biggest success stories in the Midwest from an economic development standpoint. So I just wanted to bring that to the board's attention and let everybody anybody watching in the public, for those who are covering this, to know that basically job well done on all parts. That's all I have this morning.
Thank you, Tom. If I could just add to that, I think that corner was one of my primary motivations to run for elected office. I think it's been 10 years now, okay, maybe 9. What a success story that we've been able to do as a team to change a depressed property, which brought nothing but bad karma to the village of Oak Lawn. Now one of the biggest success stories, not only financially, but beautiful as it enters town. Thanks to the board and everybody that worked on developing that property. All right, we're going to move on to the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are routine and have been brought forward at the direction of the Board of Trustees, Village Manager, and Village Committees, and will be enacted with one motion. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. A request, Board of Trustees of the Zoning and Planning Commission 6-0 recommendation for a 67.23 parking variation and a 5-foot perimeter landscaping variation for the property at 4425 Southwest Highway. And B, ordinance 2204-6, an ordinance granting a landscaping and parking variation to allow for a new three-story building at 4425 Southwest Highway. C, a request the Board of Trustees approval of the Zoning and Planning Commission's 6.60 recommendation to rezone the property at 9517 South McVicker Avenue from a C2 general service business to an R1 single-family resident. Jan Hudchek is the petitioner. And D is an ordinance 220407, which approves that rezoning. E is a request of trustees' approval of the Zoning and Planning Commissioner's 6-0 vote recommendation to approve the site plan for a new commercial building for Panda Express at 4801 West 87th Street. And F is an ordinance 22-04-08 approving that construction of that restaurant at 4801 West 87th Street. G as a request, Board of Trustees of the Zoning and Planning Commission 6-0 recommendation for a special use permit to allow a new service center and car wash in R3 multifamily residential zone district at 9300 South Kenton Avenue. Frank Mancari is the petitioner. And H is ordinance 22-04-9, which approves that new service center. I is a resolution 22-04-05, authorizing our 4th of July parade. And J is resolution 22-04-06, a resolution appointing a commissioner to the Traffic and Safety Committee within the Village of Oak Lawn. Trustees Mallow and Trustee Olenichek recommended. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve.
A second?
Second.
Any comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Olenichek.
Alex?
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Sack.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Yes.
Motion approved. Number 9, ordinance 22-04-10, an ordinance providing for the issuance of not to exceed 70 million general obligation bond series 2022 of the Village of Oak Lawn, Cook County, Illinois, for the purpose of financing certain capital improvements, repaying interfund loans, and refunding certain outstanding obligations, providing for the levy of a direct annual tax sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on said bonds, authorizing and directing the execution of an escrow agreement, and authorizing the proposed sale of said bonds to the purchaser thereof. A motion, please?
Motion.
A second?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Mayor?
Trustee.
Yes, yes,
Can I just speak
yes.
to it?
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yes, thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to provide a little context of this. This board's been made aware of this opportunity for the last several months, and it's come to now fruition where we wanted to put this ordinance on the agenda in advance of finalizing this offering. Again, it's a $70 million bond offering. Sounds like a lot, and it is, but $50 million of that is refunding existing bonds that will yield a potential savings of $4.5 million based on interest rates. And of course, you know, we all know that if you're paying attention to the news and the inflation numbers, rates are likely to rise pretty soon. So we are working hard. Adam, Jerry, I'm going to introduce our financial advisor and underwriter here in a minute to talk about our bond rating. But just wanted to make sure that it was clear that of a $70 million offering, $50 million is refunding. There's another $5.8 million that's basically taking care of TIF imbalances, for lack of a better term, loans that were made to and from TIFs, and basically taking those out and putting that money back in the general fund to help our reserves, which again is something the bond rating looks at as our reserves. And then there's a component that isn't quite set. We have it at about $13 million, and that will be dependent upon how the board wants to proceed with equipment purchase, capital outlays, road improvements, and potential land purchases. But again, those are subject to many factors, but we did want to get this ordinance on the agenda and make the public aware that we're moving forward with this. And at this point, I'd like to introduce our financial advisor, Dan Denny's, and our underwriter, Neil Pritz from Piper Sandler. Dan is a financial advisor with Austin Mead Consulting. He's been working closely with myself, Jerry, and Adam on this deal, and he quarterbacked our presentation to S&P for our rating, which recently we received an improved rating. Not greatly improved, but a step in the right direction. So Dan, I just want to, if you could just speak briefly into the microphone about the rating, if you would.
I think, thank you, Tom. The rating before from the village, we were at a BBB minus negative outlook. And the negative outlook was removed, plus there were several factors noted. The report was better than the final grade. That's like I said, it's like in 7th grade when the teacher said you did all these wonderful things, then give you a B plus or something like that. But key things I think you should be aware of, and these are things you've been doing since I've been around for this, is you have improved financial flexibility. Tom alluded to the fact that now you have fund balances between the cell tower sale, the ARPA money, very important point to the rating agencies. You are showing strong revenue growth, which is reversal of what had been going on historically. And they also pointed out that you've made commitments to strategic tax increases, and there was 4 of them, but the 2 that come to the top of my mind is the home rule sales tax number for ½ cent and the increase in the tax on water and sewer services, and that's being done, I think, to get a broader base and not just hit homeowners on the process. Those were all viewed as positive, and I guess the way I'd summarize the credit report is that you've reversed a trend probably that's been going on since 2017. And so, you know, before you can get better, you have to reverse that trend, and that's what happened. So,
Thanks, Dan. Neil, do you want to add anything?
No, that sums it up.
Okay.
And to say our job is to assist Dan and the village in the marketing and selling of the bonds when they're ready. And we'll have an investor presentation that highlights some of these points.
Thank you, guys. And if I could add to that aspect, you know, in my private life, I'm a financial advisor, so I've sat on the other side of our previous bond offerings, meaning the village's bond offerings, and seen how quickly they sold. I think the last one we did, Neil, I think you did, it was 25 million. It was oversubscribed, meaning there were more people interested in buying it than had availability, and sold out in 2 hours. And I think that's important to note, because when you're dealing with the rating agencies, and it's been a frustration forever, you can talk at length about the positives. The particular individual we're talking to is in Denver. It doesn't make him smart or dumb or right or wrong, but it's difficult when you're trying to talk, as we just did, about the $80 million shopping center that's just now been developed, about our revenue numbers improving dramatically, our retail numbers, our gaming numbers, about this board's decades-long commitment to keeping property taxes not just stable, but more often than not lower. There's been more reductions in property taxes than there have been increases, and there's only been one material increase, I think, in the last 15, 20 years. They don't like that. Everybody else you talk to, including me, a taxpayer, I love that. I love seeing that our property taxes are going down. It provides stability. It allows economic development. When we're competing with other towns, they say, wow, your tax has been what for the last 10 years? And we're seeing evidence of it. We're seeing it with the shopping center. We're seeing it with these recent developments coming in, some of them still pending, the Harley-Davidson, we have the Panda Express. We're getting calls all the time. And when you're on these calls with these agencies, they acknowledge it. And the big frustration for years has been, yes, but your pensions. As if anybody else's pensions are great, right? The city of Chicago, Dan, what is it, 20% funded?
I think 20 to 25%.
And what is their rating?
They're BBB plus.
Yeah. I mean, in the last 8 years, this board, in 2013, and I was off the board, made a dramatic commitment to funding pensions. And the sad state of affairs is, no matter how much you put in, it's hardly enough, right? And there are those doomsday scenarios. City of Chicago might have to triple their taxes to catch up with pensions. And we've talked at long and length about the need for pension reform. But But having said all that, our story was excellent, and Dan said it perfectly. If you read the comments after the actual rating in the report, you'd think that the person who gave the rating was different from the person who wrote the report. Because I'm reading this saying, wow, that's an A rating, but, and there's the but it's unaudited numbers. If it were 6 months from now, they told us, you'll likely have seen a significant increase, because the things that we told them happened have not been verified by auditors. That won't happen until June. We can't wait until June. The rate environment being what it is, by June there might be 2 rate increases if we're not careful. I just want to make sure that people understood the context. If you're a movie watcher and you watch the movie The Big Short about the mortgage crisis, you'll see a scene in there where basically the rating agencies were just rubber stamping ratings on debt. And then when everything came crashing down, they were held to account largely for not being good stewards and saying, no, those are poor bonds. You rated them positively. So it's a real challenge to convince these people, because they don't want to take a risk. This is my opinion, okay, and I want to qualify that, but someone sitting in Denver looking at our story, talking to us via Zoom, probably is thinking, yeah, this is a great story, but he says, if I give you an upgrade and it turns out to be not exactly true, what do I get out of it? I mean, because he was a very nice gentleman, seemed very sharp, acknowledged a lot of our points, and at the end of the day, there was that, yeah, but. Yeah, acknowledging all that, the good that we did, but, we need to see more was the message. So we're committed to showing them more, and I think our story is a good story, and the fact that we did get an improved rating, I think, again, is a job well done statement. It should have been better, in my opinion. I think, Dan, you would agree. Neil, I think, would agree. But it's a good step in the right direction.
Yeah, if I could just make one comment. This is a long game. So in other words, it took you a long time to get up to an A+ or AA- that we were in the early 2010s. It's going to take you time to get back up. And I'm not talking 50 years now, but you have to show progress. And if you slip, it becomes that's one of the reasons they're hesitant on doing things, because the other comment they made is this a blip or is this a permanent issue? So we've had one good year in the books, one looks like a good year to be in the books, and they like to see 3 to 5 years. So, and that's not unfair, by the way, too.
Well, and I want to just make this point. I don't know if I made it clear. Not raising taxes is looked at negatively by rating agencies. There's no other way to say that. When you tell them, yeah, we haven't raised property taxes in 10 years. Oh, that's terrible. Why aren't you raising it? You don't have the political will? Some of the things that come out are just so irrational. We said, yeah, but by not raising them, look at all these other positive benefits. Yeah, but you need to raise your taxes. Anybody can raise taxes. That's the easiest thing in the world to do. The hard thing is, and what this board's done for 2 decades, is, hey, can we do more with less? At one point, we had almost 500 employees, and now we have 300. Okay? This employee group has done a phenomenal job of being tasked with doing more with less, of taking advantage of technology, of cross-training and covering for each other, so that this board can keep property taxes stable, so that we can keep seniors in their homes when it comes time for children moving away and they have this big home and they're tempted to leave because taxes are high, like happens in so many other communities. And again, I am more proud of that fact, serving as a trustee and even village manager, than I am any other. That when we talk to people and they're saying my taxes are still, up until last year, our taxes were the same they were in 2008. When you think about that, when you talk about and read, and for those that look at their tax bill and say, well, Tom, how is that my property tax? And I don't mean to call out other taxing bodies, but the Village of Oak Lawn's portion is about 11% of your total tax bill. And that's why it's important to look at the line items of the taxing bodies. The Moraine Valley, the Metropolitan Water Reclamation, the school districts, the library, the park district, all of them important jobs and organizations, and each of them has taxing authority. And that's, one of the things that I'm most proud of is that we knew that we had the ability to raise funds quickly via our home rule taxing power. If we increase our home rule taxes, we can be collecting money at them within maybe 90 days. It doesn't take a full year. We had a line of credit for $5 million, we've since reduced to $3 million, that we, I think, one time drew upon, Adam. And we would cite that as we have liquidity, we have the flexibility to pay our bills. We've never not paid a bill in 17 years. Never had a default. And they listen and they nod and they agree and then they say, yeah, but look, you don't have $30 million sitting in the bank account. And we say, well, we don't need it sitting in the bank account. We'd rather it sitting in your account. Or we'd rather sitting in Dan's account. People who own the money, why would we take it and sit on it like other taxing bodies do? Millions and millions and millions of dollars sitting there. For no other reason, I argue, than to impress the rating agency. And I'll make one final point. We made a conscious determination in the last 2 decades. It really didn't matter. We weren't going to borrow more money. It only matters when you're borrowing more money because we have to go to someone like Neil and say, Neil, can you go sell this bond? And he said, well, yeah, but it's going to be this X amount of interest rate. We weren't in that situation for a good 15, 16 years. Maybe one time in that period of time. And now we are. We have a refinancing opportunity. We have some other capital needs that we want to take advantage of. So it was some conscious decision in the last year, as Dan said, to increase our home rule tax, a utility tax, not dramatically, by the way, to increase those fund balances and, again, try to make the argument to the rating agencies that we do have the political will to raise taxes when necessary, but not just arbitrarily and because we can, like seemingly so many other taxing bodies do. Sorry to belabor that point, but I want to just make sure it was clear.
Thank you, Tom. What an excellent report. The work of this board, previous boards, and you, Tom, makes me proud to sit in this chair and represent this community as its president. Good work. Thank you for your report. Roll call, please.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek.
Alec?
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Sack.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Yes.
Motion passes. We'll move on to the village clerk's report.
We have the approval of disbursement resolution 2022-04D dated February 22nd, 2022, in the amount of $1,535,432.68.
Motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Sack.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Yes.
Motion passes.
No other new business.
Number 11 is the village president's report. A request to approve a liquor license and tobacco license. Review board's recommendation to decrease the number of Class IV liquor licenses that are issued in the village of Oak Lawn. Can I do B together with that? And B, ordinance 22-04-11, an ordinance decreasing the number of Class 4 liquor licenses issued in the village of Oak Lawn. A motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Sack.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Yes.
Motion passes. C is a request to approve the liquor and tobacco licensing review board's recommendation 6-0 for a Class 4 liquor license at the Gaslight Bar and Grill, 5130 West 95th Street, PJS Spirits Incorporated. And D is ordinance 22-04-12, an ordinance changing the ownership of a Class 4 liquor license issued by the village of Oak Lawn. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Sack.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Motion
Yes.
passes. And as far as village matters for the mayor, I cannot say anything more than what's been said at this board. Again, I'm so proud to sit in this chair when we have a team like we have here working so hard to make this town the place I want to live in and so many other people enjoy living in. Motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
So moved.
Roll call.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Sack.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Yes.
Thank you for coming. Bud,